Hello, welcome to Verbling. I'm teacher Oakley, and once again, it is time for Famous Quotes class. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, in this class, we will look at famous quotes, and we'll read them together, and I'll talk about any kind of strange vocabulary or metaphor or idiomatic language to clarify it for the class. And then we will discuss the validity of the quote. Do we believe it? Do we disagree or agree? So we can practice giving opinion in English as well. Perhaps there may be philosophical elements which we can discuss and practice more abstract English. Today's subject of our discourse will be William Buffett. Okay. Heidi, welcome to the class.
Hello, nice to see you again. I respect Warren Buffett.
You do? Why?
Yeah.
Why do you say so?
Very, very big goal.
Yeah. I respect him because he actually wants to be taxed. Amazing.
If his son, I'm like a grain of sesame. More, no, smaller than sesame.
Okay.
Visible.
He's an interesting guy. Okay, so I take it you know who he is. Michael, you know who William Buffett is. I know you do.
Well, I haven't heard so much about him, so I want to know that he's like, I don't know, a rich guy, and he has some press or some businesses. I don't know.
He does, and he interviews well. He's often interviewed at least in American news organizations. They like to interview that guy.
Oh, okay.
He's somewhat personable, I think. Yeah, he's got
What do you mean personable?
Personable. He's got an interesting personality. He's fun to talk to and listen to. Actually, I've seen him on TV a few times, and I just get sucked right into the program, actually. I start really listening to him. I hate listening to really rich guys, but I can't help myself. He's an interesting guy. Anyway, welcome to the class, Michael. Welcome, Alabek. Hey there.
Yes, hello, Oakley.
Hi again. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah. Great to see you, and it's always, as well, it's always great to see Anatoly.
Hello, thank you.
Hi, how are you? Anatoly, do you know who William Buffett is?
No, I didn't know. Just 5 minutes ago, before this class, I looked quickly to internet.
Okay, and his name is Buffett, pronounced Buffett, and even though the word in English, just to clarify, his last name is a word in English which originates in the French language, so it's pronounced buffet. Anatoly, do you ever like to go to a buffet to dine?
Buffet, it is about eating, cooking, eating, yes?
Yes, that's right. Buffet, silent T, nothing to do with our topic today, but just wanted to clarify. Buffet is where you pay whatever, $20, and you can eat anything. There's roast beef and shrimp and chicken and catfish and squid, and you can choose whatever you'd like along a long line of food. You get an empty plate, and you put the food on your own plate. That's a buffet. You might attend a wedding buffet, for example. Sometimes people have those for a wedding reception. But nothing to do with William Buffett. Nader, hello.
Hi again.
Hi again. Do you know who William Buffett is?
I'm familiar with the name. He's a very, very rich guy, I guess.
He is tremendously rich. Yes. He's done. He's a tremendously rich guy who has done some stunning things. He's notable because he bought, for example, Dexter Shoes, which was used to be an enormous shoe company. It used to be like Nike in the United States. He bought it when it was failing, and it failed even worse. He's made some amazing blunders, but he's also made some amazingly astute and he's the other way. He killed the silver market way back in the how he started to get his money. He bought silver at a really low price, and silver went shockingly high quickly, and everybody looked to him like, "How did you know?" So he's made some big, bold moves, is what really he's known for. Some that did not work, but some that did.
Okay, but the guy is very old, so I guess we have the chance if we live to like 80 or 90. After 40 years, if you're 7 from now up to 90, I guess you will make a fortune.
Yeah. He's also a very big guy. I'm amazed he's still alive. He's quite rotund. He's got some meat on his bones. I'll tell you that. And so do his sons. He has sons, and they look just exactly like him, like he was cloned or something. They're also very big, and they look just like him. He's also
maybe with good health care, because we have like Mubarak here, ex-president. People were always wondering how could he live up to this point without any problems.
Yeah.
Because he was a pilot, and he believes that a man is like a plane. If you maintain it well, it can live for longer.
I just think if you're rich enough, you can live longer. Anyway, William Buffett is a multi-billionaire, and another thing that he's well known for is that he actually, for example, when Bush in the early 2000s was talking about lowering taxes for rich people again, lowering corporate taxes again to stimulate the economy, William Buffett came out against that and said, "Hey, I'm a billionaire. Tax me. Why should I be paying a lower tax rate than my secretary who works in the lowest office? Why is that? That's not fair. It doesn't make sense." Which you don't very often hear from billionaires. Hey, come on, tax me the same way you tax the lower income bracket.
What is the word for this very rich people, like icon or something like this?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Sure, you know it, but not
Probably.
sure what it is.
Maybe I.
Sure, 100%. You know it.
I do. Okay. Anyway, he is also a noted altruistic philanthropist. He's altruistic. He gives a lot of money. He's a philanthropist. In fact, his sons are like the luckiest people on earth, if you ask me, because their only job is to give away his money. What a job. They had a foundation which tries to charitably donate his money in responsible ways. That's their job. And they are also billionaires. Very nice. Max, can I give you a job? Your job is to give away billions of dollars, but I'm going to pay you $1 billion to do it. Would you take this job?
Good job.
You take it. Yeah?
I can't turn down this offer.
Yeah. Well, me neither, Max. I would love that job. What a great job. Okay. Let's look at some quotes from William William Buffett here. What does he have to say? I'm going to do a screen share here with the quotes. Well, okay, this is actually one of his very famous quotes, so I had to share it, even though it's pretty simple. Heidi, what do you think of this one? Heidi, can you read this for us?
Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget. Rule number 1. Oh, yeah, very good.
You like that? You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rules to live by. He doesn't have a lot of rules.
Very basic rule.
Very, and he's been quoted on this many times. This is his rule. He says this all the time.
But lose money in what sense? You lose. What does he mean?
Oh, I think he means in every possible sense.
Okay. So like invests, or like you bought something and you bought something bad and you lost your money. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, that's what he does. He buys and sells companies and invests in commodities and bonds. He doesn't. He's more of a commodities guy. He's not like a big risk taker on the stock market. Not really at all. He buys companies and invests in commodities, things, gold, copper, silver, wheat, pork bellies, commodities.
But it's a strange quote. I mean, it's not a true quote. It's a quote like just a fun quote. I mean, he knows that that's impossible, what he wrote.
Yes, true. You're right, but I in looking at him in interviews, it seems like he is serious about this rule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I heard this quote when they were interviewing his sons, and what did your dad teach you? Was the question from the interviewer, and both sons. I don't think they're twins, but they look like twins. Both sons in unison, like they were singing a song. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. They both said it in exact time sequence, perfect timing, like they've had this drilled into their head since they were, suckling on mommy's breast. They knew this rule. Anyway, okay. Now we get into some more interesting stuff, I think. Alibek, can you read this next quote for us?
Okay. Chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. Warren Buffett.
Okay. A bit of an analogy, obviously. We often use chains in analogies in English. Alibek, what do you think of this quote?
Well, I agree with that quote. I think that it means that we don't need to be stuck with our habits and our usual meaning things, and we should do some different ways to our life or business, and then our habits will not be so heavy that we can to broke that.
Okay. Different things in our lives or in our business, not two. Okay, Alibek?
Okay.
I needed to do something different in my life. Hopefully not to my life. Okay. All right, thanks. Anatoly, what do you think he means that the chains of habit are too light to be felt?
I think the main part of this statement in this the last one, because if habits dominate on your own, it could be about your business, about yourself, like this. And he explained it using comparison before it became a habit. It is just sort of preferences, but when it became as your part of your nature, it could hurt yourself or your business.
Okay. Or your business. Interesting that your guy. I think you're correct. I think William Buffett thinks about business 24/7, even when he's sleeping. But yeah, your life or your business. Okay, a couple of small things. Determine, not determinate. A very common thing. There is no word determinate. Okay, it's just determine. Very common mistake.
Okay.
And also
Okay.
pronunciation comparison. Comparison.
Comparison.
That's better. Yeah, second syllable stress. Okay. Very good. All right. True enough. Michael, putting this in terms of business? Can we put this in terms of business, actually? Can we look at this in view of, looking at the business life, like maybe Warren would?
Well, maybe if you don't change something in your business, if you don't always improve, like if you do the same thing over and over without any improving, you will end up in what?
Broke.
Not broke, but you'll be your company will lose some clients maybe.
Okay.
You should keep up with time and always introduce new things, new technologies, new approaches. Not just to do as you used to do, for example, 20 years ago. You used to do in a way, for example, to work from 8 to 5 maybe, and to do the same thing over and over. But you should change that because things change.
Yeah, things do. Okay. All right.
What did you think, Oakley, in terms of business?
In terms of business, me?
Yeah,
I'm very, very close to what you said. I think people don't notice that they fall into habits, both personally and in business, which I really like this turn of phrase, the way he says it. We don't even know that we're getting a habit. Habits can be simple. Habit could be a mispronunciation of a certain sound as you learn English. And you don't notice it because no one corrects it, and you keep doing it, and as Michael, as you said, okay, you in the last class, you don't use subject verb agreement correctly, and no one corrects you, and no one really notices. Well, this could be a habit which you do it long enough, it becomes very difficult to change. From the simplest thing, to actually corporations, fall into habits. Do corporations fall into habits, Nader?
Sure they are, because the decision makers in corporations are most of the time, maybe especially old people are old school investors or old school thinkers. So it is very difficult for them to change the way they were thinking for 30 years or 40 years.
Yeah.
Unless one with a fresh mind comes and takes the lead.
Yeah. Like that. Good phrase, good collocation, old school. Well, really idiomatic. Yeah. Old school.
But
Are you old school?
no, I am the opposite of old school.
Okay, very good. All right.
Because I always believe that to be successful, so you have to go the other way. Unless unless you know you create you add something, you will never you will be you will not ever stand out from the rest.
Okay. Good point. Okay. Mac.
So this quote we can apply to business too, can apply to life. We can apply to love.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes. Very general one that applies to every habit.
Okay. It's hard for me. Maybe it's just me, but it's hard for me to not read Warren Buffett quotes without thinking about money, economy, invest. Just because his name just conjures that. His name itself has that connotation for me. So I always think business. And sometimes it's very obvious. Max? Max, anything else you want to say about this? Yeah, let's go to the next, sure.
We simply attempt to be fearful when others are greedy, and to be greedy only when others are fearful. We simply attempt to be fearful.
You know what he's talking about here? He, I believe, is him and his investment group.
Yeah, maybe about stock market.
Yeah.
Sometimes stock is going up and up and up, so people want to buy, but that time you should be careful. But when the stocks going down and down, sometimes it's down and down, people are very cautious. Mm-hmm. Then that time you should buy. It's a very good chance.
Yeah. I forget who's made the quote, but somebody said that most millionaires, or I guess today it would be billionaires, are made in times of economic distress. Do you agree with that, Heidi?
Yes, but it's very difficult because when the stock is every day going up, everybody thinks about it's going up even tomorrow, but suddenly it stopped and fell down. So this decision is making decision is very difficult.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yes, it is. Okay. You actually play the stock market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to know the news from the world. Every news are connected to the stock market. Mm-hmm. For example, now in Hong Kong, there's a big protest. So economy is getting down. It affected Japanese stock. Last week, all stocks get down. Mm-hmm. Got down, yes. I lost a lot of money.
All stocks have been going down.
Yeah, my asset decreased.
Oh no. Yeah. Okay. Right. So, do you think there's an opportunity to make money?
Yeah, at first it decreased. At that time, I needed to sell all stocks because next day it's going down. But I lost the chance to sell.
Oh no. Timing is everything. Yeah. Okay, well, very true. Alabek, what do you think of this? Do you think this is a good strategy?
Yes, there is a good strategy that Warren Buffett tells us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I must say that I remember that he actually the Warren Buffett is an investment entrepreneur himself.
Yes, that's right.
Because yes, we should tie up the investment with his name. It's nominal name that's investment, and his main thing that to let him to his the billionaires, it's that he could always to do a good catch with the moment to invest to some business because we know that he started with some shareholders. He do a lot of share business in the world, and he has some sense of that when he need to buy or when he need to sell that his share.
Yeah,
that's very good example.
Yeah, that's called timing. And we have a phrase in English: timing is everything. Yeah, which you're exactly right. I mean, that's what Warren Buffett is known for, is his timing in the marketplace, and that's what he's talking about here. How to time things. But then again, on the other hand, he says this in the very next quote here. So, Anatoly, can you read this one and then maybe compare this quote to the last quote? So, Anatoly, can you read this one first?
Mm-hmm. I never attempt to take money on the stock market. I buy on the assumption that they could close the market the next day and not reopen it for 5 years.
Okay. What is he saying? He never attempts to make money on the stock market. Not something you would expect him to say.
Mm-hmm.
What does he mean?
He assumed that it could close in the future, and if he has a chance to buy something, he makes this decision. Maybe don't postpone your decision for the future because it wouldn't happen in the future. I could rephrase this.
Okay. Okay. I wasn't kind of looking at it that way, but okay. Interesting. It's interesting, these two ideas in conjunction with each other. Michael, what do you think? Why is Warren Buffett saying, I never attempt to make money on the stock market?
He's trying to be smart by this quote. He's showing off.
Okay.
He's I don't know, I never attempt to make money on the stock market, so I buy on the something they could close then not happen. So he's like a safe investor or something, so he's doing his operations based on some knowledge, and he knows for sure what could happen.
He's got a good crystal ball. Okay.
You know, sometimes these kind of people, like Bill Gates, rich people, they usually don't say the truth, how they became rich and what ideas they follow and what their way of thinking. So they kind of hiding these things, and they are trying to say some general ideas, trying to improvise, to say something original. But if you are if you were like their relative or maybe a friend or close friend, you would know their way of thinking. But what you see these quotes, I think they don't follow them. It's just for you and me.
Okay. Actually, Michael, sometimes I think that the reason that they give these general kind of ideas and thoughts to you and I is because they don't know how they got rich. They got lucky.
Maybe he want,
Yeah, could be lucky.
maybe he want to buy the stock on some company. It already weakened. Then over 50%, so he can manipulate the company. Then next day he close means withdraw from the market. Then accumulate power in the company. Then 5 years later, it became active. The company will be active. Then they reopen, list up in the market again.
Mm-hmm.
Then naturally he can gain a lot of money.
Yeah, well, okay.
He traded stocks only earning money by the selling and buying, right?
Right. I think that's the idea. The general idea is that don't buy stocks thinking you're going to make money in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the
when
idea.
you buy the stocks, it means over 50% to manipulate the company.
Right. Well, yeah, that would make sense. And then also, I think the idea is you don't know, as you were saying earlier, stocks go up and down and up and down and up and down, but over time, pretty much they consistently go up. And if you're able to actually control a company, as Heidi is saying,
yeah, maybe he's a very good economist, so he can find a lot of waste of the company. So he cut off a lot of waste, and 5 years ago, the company's economy is very getting much better.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and that's I also that's generally what he does. So, yeah, he buys a large chunk of a company, a large portion of the stocks, and then he sits on it for 5 years and tries to make some changes or whatever and ride it out for 5 years. Okay. Nader, are you in again?
Yes.
Here's an observation. Yeah.
No, but I guess you are talking about that I never attempt to make money on the stock market, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I guess the guy is cautious. He wants to see his money. He wants to have an eye on his money all the time. So he wants to control his money. And you know, the stock market, you cannot control it. The shares can fail for unknown reasons. So he doesn't like to risk. Maybe when he bought that silver. He knew it. He expected it. He knew the rules, and he doesn't believe that when you don't know it, when he doesn't fully understand it, he doesn't want to go into it. So I guess he's cautious guy.
Well, knowing what I do know about the man, you are 100% correct. He is a big proponent of being well informed. You cannot possibly have too much information before you invest your money. Yeah, so that would make sense. That would very much gel with what he says and does. So yeah. Okay. This is a nifty, funny little quote here. Nader, could you read this one for us?
Wall Street is the only place that people ride to in a Rolls Royce to get advice from those who take the subway. Wall Street is the only place that people ride to in a Rolls Royce to get advice from those who take the subway. Yes, he's talking about brokers, I guess.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about brokers, that's right.
Yes. Those if they are smart, that smart, they should have made fortunes themselves. But those people who are riding Rolls and Royce, maybe they are smarter than those people who are who they ask to for advice. Which is a good point.
Well, okay. Or another way to look at it is it takes money to make money. And if you don't have money to start with, it doesn't matter if you make 100% of 1 penny. You're only going to get 100.
Yes.
You're only going to get $1. But if you make 100%,
for sure.
If you make 100% of $100 million, because you already have a Rolls Royce, well, that's money. Now you're making. Yeah.
Yes, the easiest way to make money is to have money.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'd like to try. Have you ever done this as either just for yourself or as part of I had to do it as part of a college course. This is very, very normal thing, at least in America. If you take any economics course or finance course or whatever, you play this game where you take, okay, you have $50,000 imaginary money. Invest your money, buy stocks and or bonds, and at the end of the semester, you know, whoever's got the most money wins the game, kind of that kind of thing. Did you ever do that, Nader, by any chance?
No, but I guess there is a website or many websites, maybe I saw one, that they say like virtual money. You put like $10 and they make it like $10 million, and you buy shares, real shares for $10, but they say like you have like $10 million shares. Then they say like, you know, tomorrow you have so and so. So they say this is like you can test your abilities and test your understanding, and you don't lose much.
Right.
So when you put real money, yes. You will be much more informed after this experience.
Maybe the people who is using the subway, the common people, there are a lot of common people that they can get advice from that people. But common people are in the subway. They can't image about economy from surrounding. But only the people who gain a lot of money in the stock market can have some intuition from the common people.
Well, looking at the bigger picture, you mean? Okay. All right. I also think that perhaps this quote is a little dated, honestly. Meaning that I think maybe he said this in possibly the late 80s, I would guess. Because I think he's talking about brokers, stockbrokers who work in Wall Street, but they take the subway to work. Before the 90s, when stockbrokers went nuts and started selling derivatives and just absolutely going crazy, I don't think they take the subway anymore, is what I'm trying to say. They used to. It used to be a, not that high a paying job, a decent middle class income job. It's not anymore. Now it's a millionaire job. So I have a feeling this is kind of a dated quote, meaning it's old.
I remind one story. Maybe it's related to these quotes about Warren Buffett. I think it's about him. Maybe I'm wrong. One time he sit on the street and one person cleared his shoes. And this person who cleared his shoes started to ask him about play on the stock market. And on this time he decided it's time to buy my action or something like that. Something like just simple person, how to say, ask about stock market, and I think
Okay.
I don't know.
I vaguely remember this story. I know you're making a reference to a story I've heard before. I don't remember I wish I remembered more details, but I don't, unfortunately. A little feedback on English. I remind a story. Okay, here's how we say it in English. I am reminded of a story. Okay? I am reminded of a story about William Buffett.
Okay.
Or to begin your little story. I am reminded of a story. Okay. Also, he had his shoes cleaned. His shoes shined, actually. Shoe shine. You go to a shoe shine stand. I don't know if you guys have these in your various different countries or not, but definitely in New York on Wall Street, you see guys with little stands, and they polish your shoes for you. Yeah, so he had his shoes shined. I remember that's part of the story. Okay, and simple people in English, well, okay, he's just, okay, there's different ways we can say it. He's an everyman. Okay. So, and we can say he's an average Joe. He talked to Joe on the street. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Well, no, you're giving me a lot of material to talk about. Thank you. Here's a kind of funnier way that we say it. Little more slang-like. We talk about the average person in America. This is very common lately as Joe Sixpack.
Joe Sixpack?
Joe Sixpack, yeah.
Average
Do you know
Joe.
what that means? Average Joe. He's just an average Joe. That's common.
Do you know for women? For women?
No, average.
That's for men. Joe.
Jane? Average
Yep.
Jane?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know, dead bodies. Well, okay. Michael, I don't know, off topic, but do you know what dead bodies are called that can't be identified?
Dead bodies? No, I don't know.
Dead people, but no, they're not. They don't have any identification.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
John.
That's
John
it.
Doe.
Casualties?
Yeah.
John Doe. John Doe.
Oh, John Doe.
Yeah, or Jane Doe. It happens to be a female. All right.
But this John Doe is any anonymous guy, so you can sign any letter with
Yep.
John Doe.
Yeah, that's
Or
right.
when you are given an example.
That's right. I've given an example of this is what a driver's license looks like. John Doe,
Yes.
01010101. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Very good.
But you are using it for dead people, unidentified people.
Yes. Yeah. Commonly. Policemen use it. The coroner uses it. Who's the John Doe? Okay, we had 2 John Does come into the county morgue today. Who's the dead guy? John Doe. We don't know. It's very common. Okay. Well, what does Joe Sixpack mean? Does anybody know?
I don't know Joe Sixpack, but I know six packs like abs. These abs.
Yeah, okay. It can be abs, but here, that's exactly why I was asking. Six-pack can refer to your abs because you have kind of 6 lumps of muscle in your stomach if you're really buff.
Yes, they say how to get the six-pack. Or the six-pack program.
Yeah. But also a six-pack refers to something else. Anybody know?
My dictionary describe it like 1 pack of beer
That's
has
right.
6 bottle of beer.
That is correct. And the way Americans sell beer, it comes. You buy 6. Nobody buys 1 beer at a time in America. Nobody. You buy 6 at a time. So they come specially. That's how they market them in a 6-pack. So when you say Joe's 6-pack or the average Joe, you're talking about the guy who goes to work and when he comes home from work, he gets a 6-pack of beer. You know, drinks his beer and eats his cheeseburger and watches baseball on TV. Yeah.
You know, I am always surprised when I see American people when they go and buy these cans, like Pepsi cans, Cola cans, whatever. They buy in packs. We buy in, like,
Right.
you buy 2 or 3, and they buy, you know, like 12s or
Yeah. You get a 6-pack. Or if soda, if you don't get a 6-pack, you get like 2 liters.
Mhm.
Right. A big bottle. Or, yeah, you buy them in a 6-pack. And that's right. Nobody buys single. It's very rare. Unless you're having lunch, you know, you obviously buy 1 can of soda or something. But, yeah.
Which is a very bad habit to buy in this in bulk.
Buying in bulk. Well, Americans, yeah. Well, you know, the consumerism brainwashing has been going on a long time. So they can't help themselves. Okay. Well, this is a little more thoughtful, circumspect, kind of less money-oriented. Max, can you read this next quote for us?
Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
It's some kind of, you need to think about your future now.
Okay, that's true. Yes, it's definitely a statement about thinking long term.
In a long run.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe a very, very long run. You know, trees are very, very old.
Yeah.
Maybe beyond your life.
But
Sometimes-
that's a metaphor about the tree. It's doesn't mean like exactly tree, but he means like maybe a house, like your life. So what do you have in your life, like material things, maybe?
Okay.
Maybe
It's not about exactly the tree.
he is a long keeper of stocks. At first, he found a small company, but he found some very good future in that company. Then he invested. A long time later, the company became very big. He can earn a lot of money. He can enjoy the share of the company.
Yeah. And in English,
Or
by the
maybe-
way,
Yes. Okay, sorry.
just quickly, there is a connotation of sitting in the shade as being I'm relaxing and enjoying the fruits of my labor. I now can be at ease. Okay. So there is a connotation of sitting in the shade, meaning taking a rest from hard work. Okay, so I should add that. Nader, you're going to say?
Yes, I wanted to say that his son is sitting in the shade now because he planted a tree a long time ago. His father.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. And it's a big tree. It's a redwood. It's a sequoia. No doubt. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of building big trees, well, okay. Heidi, can you read this one?
Okay. It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently. Oh, yes, I think so.
Indeed. Okay. You agree? Alabek, do you agree with this quote?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Perfectly.
Perfectly. Okay. Can you think of examples?
Well, when we have a job and we do some work for company or our business, or that we can get some success with that, and we do that. We think that it will be always like that. We can receive some benefits, and we starting to dreaming about it. And then we do some wrong things, we do some mistakes, as it usually in our life. And then our career, our future life is broken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe
Pedestal. Yeah. Nader? Yeah. Go ahead.
maybe you're married and you spend like 20 years faithful, and you look at another woman your wife sees, then she says, "Oh, for all of these years, I never thought that you were looking at other women." And you say, "This is the first time." She says, "No, no, no, no."
That's why I've been wearing sunglasses for 20 years.
For example, small company or a bank, it takes 20 years. For example, bank get a lot of clients, but only rumor. It may be going to bankrupt. Suddenly, every customer came to the bank to withdraw. Actually, the bank will get bankrupt.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's just a rumor. That's not even that they actually did anything. That's another.
But the rumor connected something happened, small thing.
Usually, but rumors can be planted by their rival bank. I just think evilly when it comes to business. Okay, we've only got a couple minutes. I want to look at this one, see if you guys agree with me or disagree or what you think. Michael, why don't you read this one for me here? I think you've read one today.
It's too big.
Yeah.
Economic medicine that was previously meted out by the Cupful. Cupful has recently been dispensed by the barrel. These ones unthinkable dosages will almost certainly bring on unwelcome after effects. Their precise nature is anyone's guess, though one likely consequence is an onslaught of inflation.
Okay, quite a bit of vocabulary here. Meted out means like portioned out. Meet out is to portion. Okay, what's the overall idea here, Michael?
About something about he's speaking about petrol.
Petrol. Well,
no?
not specifically. Economic medicine. Okay. Think what he's talking about is when governments ask the bank to inject more money into the economy, kind of like the American economy, just pumping dollar bills, which are backed by literally nothing, into the economy by the millions. I think that's what he's talking about. Economies, countries, not just America, but a lot of countries where they used to make very tiny adjustments and they used to be very careful about playing around with the economy. Now people do crazy stuff. Well, okay, that's my opinion, crazy stuff, but they do much bigger things. They adjust inflation rate. They adjust, like interest rates by, they crank it up, 2% in 2 months, or I don't know, they just, things like that. I think that's what he's talking about, making economic adjustments. I think so. Anatoly, do you have anything to say about this?
I think he wanted to say no. There is no definite and one rule, one recipe for economics, and to think only about one rule could harm more than we expected.
Yeah. Tinker is a good verb. Tinkering with the economy. Scary thing, really. The economy is very hard to predict. Very few economists can. I've read very few. Sometimes I read economic books. Believe it or not. Oops, there we go. Anyway,
have you read Predictably Irrational?
Again, please.
Have you read Predictably Irrational?
No.
About behavioral economy? You'll like it. I'll send you a link.
That'd be great. Thanks.
Yes, yes. Very interesting. Very interesting book.
I would like that very much. Okay, good recommendation. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. But I've got to wrap it up now because it's time for me to start another class. In fact, come back and join me.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye for now.